Hi everyone and welcome to the Mushroom Den. So today I'm bringing you 4 vegan cheese recipes. We'll have 2 cheese recipes that are cashew based and 2 that are nut free. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So for our pepper jack cheese, you want to add to a food processor or blender some raw cashew that you will have boiled for at least 5 minutes. Some unsweetened and unflavored plant-based milk, here I went for soy milk, some refined coconut oil because it doesn't have that coconut flavor, some lemon juice, some tahini for that slightly bitter note in the taste, some nutritional yeast for that cheese flavor, garlic powder, onion powder, some salt, cayenne pepper, and some tapioca starch, which is going to help our cheese get firm and grittable. Blend everything until smooth and set it aside. Next, in a saucepan on low heat, add some water and some agar powder. The agar powder is what helps the cheese firm up when it's under cold temperature and melt when it's under heat. Now you want to whisk it until it's fully incorporated into the water. Next, you want to add your cashew mixture. Now you want to make sure you stay on low heat here and you want to whisk for about 5 to 7 minutes. Now this is perfect. Now we're ready to add our minced jalapeno and bell peppers. Give it a mix until everything is well distributed. Now you want to grease a ramekin container and pour in your cheese mixture. Give it a couple of taps just to remove any air, and pop this in the fridge for at least 4 hours or overnight. And the next day it should be very easy to come out of the container. And here you have a vegan pepper jack cheese that can slice, grate, and melt very easily. The overall taste is spicy with some bitter note from the tahini and a slight sweetness from the bell peppers. Now for our smoked Gouda cheese, we're going to add again some softened cashews in a blender, followed with some soy milk, some refined coconut oil, lemon juice, some tahini, some vegan Worcestershire sauce, liquid smoke, some nutritional yeast, tapioca starch, garlic powder, onion powder, some mesquite seasoning for that extra smoky flavor, and a dash of salt. Blend everything until smooth and set it aside. In a saucepan on low heat, add some water and agar powder. You want to whisk it until the agar powder is fully incorporated. Then pour in the cashew mixture and whisk everything for about 5 to 7 minutes, still on low heat. Grease a ramekin container and pour in the mixture. Give it a few taps to remove any air. Then pop it in the fridge for about 4 hours or overnight. The next day, this is what it should look like. Again, you have a cheese that is firm, easy to grate and melt. And in terms of taste and flavor, the smokiness is very much pronounced thanks to the liquid smoked mesquite seasoning and Worcestershire sauce. It's also very creamy, so you can enjoy it by itself or with some toast or crackers. Now moving on to our nut-free cheese. These are also softer, so they are easier to crumble. So for the feta cheese, you want to add some tofu in the food processor, followed with some refined coconut oil, some water, apple cider vinegar, some tahini, onion powder, garlic powder, some salt and agar powder. Blend everything until smooth. Pour the mixture into a saucepan on low heat and stir for about 7 minutes. Next, you want to grease a container. Here I'm just going for a rectangle glass container because I want to cut the cheese into cubes. Pour in the mixture, even everything out, and pop this in the fridge for about 4 hours or overnight. And while our feta cheese is setting, we're going to prepare the marinade. So in a mixing jar, add some olive oil, some white vinegar, some lemon juice, and a mix of dried herbs. Here I'm going for thyme and oregano, followed with some salt and pepper, and some minced garlic. Also adding a dash of agave syrup to reduce the acidity. Give everything a shake and the marinade is ready. Now a few hours later, our cheese is set. Now all we need to do is to cut it into cubes. And submerge the cubes into the marinade. Now you want to let this set in the marinade for at least 24 hours. The cheese will have enough time to absorb all the flavors from the marinade, and this is just amazing in salads. Now you'll notice that the cheese is firm enough to stand on its own, but not so much that we can crumble it. And if you paid attention to this recipe, you'll notice that we didn't include any tapioca starch or any starch for that matter, which is what distinguishes a firm cheese versus a cheese that will crumble. Last but definitely not least, we're going to make a soft vegan blue cheese. Again, you want to add the tofu to the food processor, followed with some tahini. Now you want to add a bit more because blue cheese does have a slight bitterness to it. Next, we're adding our refined coconut oil, some water, some garlic powder, onion powder, some salt, nutritional yeast, some apple cider vinegar, some black pepper and agar powder. Blend everything until smooth. Pour the mixture in a saucepan and stir for about 5 to 7 minutes on low heat. Again, grease a glass container and pour in the mixture. Now to get those bluish spots that you see on regular blue cheese, we're going to use some spirulina. And don't worry, it's not going to taste like spirulina at all. We're barely doing half a teaspoon. So once you sprinkle the spirulina on top, you want to randomly run a knife through it. Now that's good enough. Again, we're popping this in the fridge for about 4 hours or overnight. And this is what it looks like a few hours later. Here I'm just randomly cutting it so it's easier to crumble. Now because we went heavier on the tahini, it does have those bitter notes. And like I said, you don't taste the spirulina at all. Again, this is great in salad or even in a sub. So that's it. These are the 4 vegan cheese recipes that I wanted to bring you guys. I'll put all the recipe information in the description box below the video. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and on to the next video as always. Have a blessed one.